Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about setting up a new tank to grow out some green dragon bristlenose plecos. We're going to use water from an existing tank and yeah, we'll set it up and we'll show you how to do it to alleviate the cycle process for a tank. So the water coming out to be used will be from this tank, and this is the tank that the green dragon plecos have been in a breeder box for. So what we're doing is we're adding 50% water from the existing tank they're in and 50% fresh water, so it'll be just like a 50% water change. Taking a temperature of the water of the tank the green dragons are coming from, and the water there is about 74.5, 74.7 degrees. So we're going to try the same here. So we're going to turn this up just a bit. Now we are on chlorinated water, town water, but we have a carbon pre-filter we'll show you when we go over there. That's supposed to take out most of the chlorination from the water. So we've got it right where we need it. Now we're going to take the tank, the bucket, and we're going to do a 50% water change basically. So we'll have half fresh water, half water from the previous tank. So we have 2 buckets of water here, 5 gallons each. This bucket here came out of the 90-gallon tank that the green dragon plecos are currently in a breeder box. So we checked out temperature in this one, and this is what they're used to. This is the temperature that tank stays at. I believe it's about 74.5-ish Fahrenheit. So right there, 74 and change. So we've done tap water here, and I believe we got it pretty close. So one big mistake a lot of people make, I think, is a drastic temperature change when they're setting up a tank or moving fish from one tank to another. You want to keep it within a couple of degrees. We're very close there. We're within 0.5 of a degree. So this is chlorinated water, but the chlorine's been removed. We have a pre-filter, like I said earlier, and that's it. It comes right in from our house, from the municipal supply, and goes through a carbon pre-filter, and that's supposed to remove most of the chlorine. So the fish we're going to move are right here, and these are our green dragon plecos, born about 2 weeks ago. They were removed from the cave, and they're ready to go into their new home. They're just in a breeder box on the side of a 90-gallon tank. So we want to move them to a new home, but we want them to be used to their same water, and that's why we're using water from this existing tank. It's a great way to set up a new tank if you have an existing tank as well, because what you get is the beneficial bacteria already. So we're starting with this 10-gallon tank. This is where they're going to go, and it's empty, and we're going to add those buckets of water. What I've done also is I have a sponge filter for it. This is the sponge filter that's going in that tank. I've had it previously set up in this tank here just to collect some of that beneficial bacteria in it from an existing tank before it goes in there. What this does is help with the cycle. The aquarium cycle is essential for your fish health. If you don't have beneficial bacteria, the ammonia will skyrocket and your fish will probably suffer and or die. This eliminates that. The tank still needs a cycle, but the cycle's been started before there's any reason for it to harm the fish. So this is how we do it, and we will show you how we finish this tank off in a second. So this is our aquarium rock. It's just a way for us to save some space in the basement. We have a shrimp tank here with red crystal shrimp. We have some multifascius here. These are fish from our big colony, but they've already spawned in here even. There's a couple of little babies. And we're just trying to grow some plants in here. This is a clown pleco tank. There's 4 clown plecos in there. And then we're gonna set this tank up here for the green dragon plecos. So this is the hard part because they're up on the top shelf. We're gonna get on a chair, which is probably the safest thing to do. And we're gonna pour the water in. It's one bucket. Now you can do this with much smaller buckets. This is a bit of a challenge, but this is how I do it. Fill it to about there. So what we have in this tank is the sponge filter that's going in that tank, and we'll put that in there now. You want to make sure it stays wet. We just have a concrete floor here, so we don't care about water on it. And we'll just put that filter in that tank. I haven't checked yet to see if this airline will reach that far, which I doubt it will. No. So we're gonna have to get a new piece of airline on here. So these are the heaters I use for small tanks. You get them at Walmart. They're cheap. They're like 20 bucks for this heater. It says it's good for a 10 to 30 gallon heater, or tank, sorry. And this is what we use. They're preset. They seem to keep our tanks between 76 and 78. I know the water we're putting in is at 75, but it'll slowly heat up to 76, 77 with this heater. It'll have no ill effects on the fish. So we take them out of the box. Undo this. Unravel the cord. I'm not going to plug it in quite yet. Very soon. This is a fully submersible heater. So let's hang the cord down. We'll plug it in a minute. So fully submersible means we can put it down as low as we want. I keep them fairly low in the tank, and I attach them to the side. Just because when I do water changes, then I don't have to move it. If you have a sponge filter that doesn't want to sink, just gotta squeeze the air out of it. Some air got in it. We have a central air system in our house for our fish tanks. Due to the fact I believe this is the 20th tank we have. So this is the canopy that's going to go on it. But we've gotten a couple other decorations. We're going to put in an alderwood cave, which is boiling right now. We also have this cave right here. I designed this cave under the advice of zebra pleco breeders. And it's a zebra pleco breeding cave, a double. We're not putting it in there for breeding purposes, just somewhere for the babies to hide. And we're also putting in a flower pot cave. Real easy to make. Smash out a hole on the top half, leave the bottom half fully intact, and put the two saucers together with some aquarium safe silicone. But this is why we left the water level down a little bit. Let all the air out. So we can put these in with ease, not worrying about overflowing the tank or anything like that. So we'll put those in there. We're going to put a nice light on the tank because we want to promote algae, as that's free food. It's going to stay bare bottom, so it's easy to clean. This is essentially a grow out tank for about 10 baby plecos right now. The bio load's not real big on the tank at this point, and they should be able to live in here until they get to an inch, inch and a half in size, and then we'll decide what we do with them at that point, whether we sell them, add some to our breeding colony, or what we do. So for part of the decorations going in the tank, we're going to put an alderwood log cave in for them. It's got a 1.5 inch hole. This is what their parents actually bred in. But it was an aspen cave, not an alderwood. You may have heard of alderberries. I found the wood that the alderberries grow on, and I didn't think it could hurt them by using the alder wood. So, to get the alder wood to sink, it needs to be boiled. It's very buoyant, but boiling it will allow it to sink. And also, if you can see the water, it's very colored. There's a lot of tannins in it. This gets rid of any saps, anything that'll grow, fungus or anything. Boiling gets rid of it. We do make and sell these caves. You can find them at J&N Aquarium Supply on Facebook. But we do this before we sell them. It's recommended you do this when you buy it as well. So we've boiled this log 3 times. Like I said, there's a lot of tannins in this. This is alder wood, the same as alder berries. It's supposed to have some antibacterial properties to it, but mainly I put these in with plecos because plecos love wood. They love rasping on it, and that's why I think these work really well as breeder caves for them, because the babies get to rasp on wood immediately. But anywho, we've boiled it 3 times. We've cooled it down, and maybe we'll put it in right up on top of there. So we have this portion ready. We've got the air line hooked up to our central air pump. That air pump runs about 10 tanks or so on this side and more on the other side. The heater's plugged in, and we've kept it bare bottom because for the ease of maintenance. This isn't a show tank. This is a tank just for raising babies, and it's easy to get all the poo and stuff out of it with the bare bottom tank. So we're gonna come over here. We have our green dragon fry in here. Like I said, they're about a week old, a week out of the cave, been fed. So we take this off. We're gonna take that gate off, and we're gonna pour them into a container. That's what we're gonna do. So first off, we're gonna dump some of the water out. Be careful not to dump any babies with it. Almost. Okay, so that's probably more than enough. They're all in there. So we have all the babies in here. These are handy jugs to have. You get them at the dollar store. Now, the water they're going into is the same water that they're used to, but it's like it's had a 50% water change, so it's nice and clean and healthy. So there should be no shock going into the tank, other than a great big new world for them, because they're so used to being in a little tank. So we've got that. We have the canopy over here. Cleaned it up a bit. And we're going to put a fluorescent light on the tank as well, because we want to promote algae growth for this tank due to the fact that it's a pleco tank mainly. And yeah, that seems to work out okay. And they love to eat algae, so why not grow some free food? I've already plugged this light in and tested it. Works. These were just tanks we already had laying around the fish room here. Now we gotta see if we got room to get it up top. Makes things a little more difficult working off the top like this. I'm fairly tall, so I can still see in the tank fine. Just like so. There we go. Now I'm gonna leave the water down a little bit in this tank, just because there's a lot of bubbles. Oh, we didn't give the filter enough room back there. There's a lot of bubbles, and I don't like the water overflowing out of the tank. So that's what I'll leave it for now. We'll feed them in a little bit, and they already all over the place in here, moving around. they'll be happy in here and they'll do fine. We've had 3 in this shrimp tank for about 3 days, and all the sides of the tank were just covered in algae, and they've just decimated the algae in here in 3 days. So they love eating it. The only problem, there's one on a leaf right there. But the only problem is they do poo a lot when you do that, so we're gonna have to clean this out. So thanks for watching. I hope this helped you. If you have another fish tank and you want to start one, this is an easy way to skip the cycle. Please subscribe. We love new subscribers. We'd love to keep making new videos, and we appreciate your support. Thank you. Bye.